Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and let's talk about Storm because there's the my favorite folks, the Blerds. They think that the next X-Men movie and show needs to be focused on Storm because it wasn't fair that Wolverine was the focus of the X-Men movies over Storm, and make my ass itch. I swear to God. Um, and I was breaking it down. I said, as much as we love Storm, and I love Storm, the reason why Storm doesn't get much of a solo showing is because she's like the most mature, put together character. And usually, when you're much put together character or whatever, they don't really need you to be the center of attention. You know what I'm saying? Storm, as much as people like it, Storm's not a center of attention character. As much as they've been trying recently to push that on her. Yes, she's been the queen of Wakanda. Yes, she's been looked at as a goddess in her native land of Kenya. Yes, she's been the leader of the Morlocks. Yes, she's been the queen. She's the queen of Mars or whatever. But you know, yes, she's also been a member of the Fantastic Four. But the thing about it is, all of that stuff that's great and all. But again, Storm Aurora Monroe, truthfully, it is coming from a person who's read the character over the years, 60 plus years. And let me ask you guys something. Like, if we really can talk, if like, let's really sit here and talk about Storm. If we're going to talk about Storm, name adversaries for Storm. Like, remember, if you want a character to be a solo character, you gotta at least you gotta name a few of their adversaries. And I'm not saying that they don't try, but because Storm is part of a team, she doesn't have adversaries like her male counterparts because her male counterparts, a lot of them before they joined the X-Men, had a lot of solo adventures before the X-Men. And sometimes when they do leave the team for a long time, usually it's because they went to a solo run or they're in another team where they're still the center of focus. With Storm, you can't really have Storm the center of the focus because Storm isn't complex enough to hold a movie or be the center of of a show. Like, I know I hear a lot. It's mostly be Blerds a lot complain about, oh, Storm in these X-Men movies and shows. She's there, but they never really like put a lot of spotlight on her. She has a few good moments, but she doesn't have a spotlight. The reason why she doesn't have a spotlight is because she's the most put together character. As much as people don't want to hear it, she is. She's not complex enough to be like, oh my God, we need to really focus on her. Because honestly, what do you want from Storm besides we want to see her more? That's great and all, but when they do give Storm solo runs, people don't really buy it. This is her fifth solo run right now, and I don't know. I don't think it's not really doing that much. I'm not saying that it's a bad solo run, and I'm not saying the previous one weren't either. But I'm just being honest. I'm just I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? Like, okay, for me, I know she has two adversaries off the bat, and that's just from me reading the books or whatever. And that's Callisto and the Shadow King. They've always been Storm's adversaries. That's been the truth. Yes, the Shadow King is also an adversary of Professor Xavier, but he also is adversary of Storm as well. And that's really about it for, like, characters that really be, giving Storm issues. You get what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want her to be a focus, we're gonna have to have a little bit more villains that'll focus on her. But how can you challenge a weather witch? You get what I'm saying? Like, you can do Wolverine, you can do Gambit, you can do X-Men, You can do Deadpool. You can do um what's that darn thing? Phantom X or whatever and stuff like that. The reason why those characters have solo runs is because those characters can be challenged compared to Storm, who like it's really hard to take down a magical weather witch, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that there hasn't been challenges for Storm, but what I'm saying is you couldn't do a movie center around her. You couldn't do an entire X-Men season around her. You can do episodes, you can do spotlight moments in the movies, which is fine. But as far as like X-Men, I mean, as far as like solo Aurora Monroe Storm stuff, no. And that's somebody who's been reading the character for a long time who can tell you, like, yes, I love Storm, but not every character deserves spotlight. And I don't want to hear. And then, of course, some people always be like, "Oh yeah, because it's not that many black solo characters in Marvel or whatever." And that's just like, no, that's a lie because um, there has been. We got Blade, we got Luke Cage, we have Thrasher, we have Blue Marvel, we have Monica Rambeau, we have Sam Wilson, the Falcon, we have War Machine. We have Black Panther. We have what's that? What Mosaic? Is that how you say? Is that how you say it? You even have that god awful Ironheart. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit up here and be like there aren't solo black characters that has. You know what I'm saying? Miles Morales. You know what I mean? Um, what's that darn? Was it Johnny Rocket? I think he used to be called, but he showed up in Spider Man. And he had like a little mini series or whatever. Still, he was able. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I'm not. I don't get this whole notion of well, she deserved to be solo because she's a black character or she's a black female. No, not really. And just because you're a black character doesn't in the world of Marvel doesn't mean that you deserve to have a solo run, or it doesn't mean that you deserve to have a solo spotlight in a movie or a show. You get what I'm saying? That's like saying, oh, they should make a Storm game. Why? For what? Because I like Storm. Okay, yes, Storm is a fan favorite character, and just because she's a fan favorite character, she can't hold a title. It's the same thing as like, okay, because I know a lot of people probably want to try to bring up this character, Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn, yes, she's a fan favorite character. Yes, they have done solo runs. Yes, those solo runs don't really sell well, but because it's Harley Quinn and because it's connected to Batman, it works. And people will be like, well, if Harley Quinn can work, how come Storm can't work, even though she's connected to the X-Men? Because the X-Men, people care about the X-Men as a team. They don't care about the characters separately. Does that make sense? Like when you put them in a book together, we do care about those characters. We do care about them individually in the book. But when you try to separate them and put them in solo runs, we don't care because we're like, well, we kind of like your dynamic because those characters work better as a dynamic team. You get what I mean? And like characters like Harley Quinn, which will be like, yes, she is a fan favorite character, but look at what they've done to her. Look at how they've been pushing her to the point where we don't like her no more. And I don't want Storm after 60 years of being having good stories and whatever. I don't want people to come in and do all these crazy things with her just so they can push this whole notion of her being a solo character. You get what I mean? Like I get that you want more from Storm, but sometimes you just can't have it. And that's not racism that's not racism, that's not sexism. It's just that the female X-Men characters can't hold solo runs. That's why a lot of their events and a lot of their major storylines happen in X-Men. You get what I'm saying? because you couldn't put it in a solo run because people wouldn't care. Because we care about, yes, we like Jean Grey. Jean Grey, everybody was like, oh, Dark Phoenix or whatever, stuff like that. But the Dark Phoenix couldn't work if it was in a Jean Grey solo comic book. You get what I mean? We wouldn't have read it. We wouldn't have read it unless it was tied to a popular title. You get what I'm saying? That's what I mean when I'm saying like they can't hold solo titles, and yet Marvel wanted to try to be like, oh, you know what we need? We need more of the female. We need more of the female X-Men characters to have solo runs, and it's just like, no, they don't work because those characters aren't interesting by themselves. The real fact of the matter is we don't give a damn about them. I don't care about them individually. I care about them as a team. You get what I mean? That's what I care about. I don't want to see Storm separated from the X-Men characters. I don't want to see Jean Grey separated from the X-Men characters doing a storyline. You know what I mean? And even if you do, then it has to be a mini series. It can't be 50 to 100 issues because I don't care. That's the same thing as like that's how DC don't didn't understand why a lot of people start not caring about Harley Quinn, and why to this day you see people putting Harley Quinn with Joker, even though DC was trying their hardest to separate her from the Joker, because people don't want it. People don't want it. And yes, even though they try to make her a lesbian too, people don't want it because people like her being the henchwoman of the Joker. When she's with the Joker, that's when she's interesting. When she's not with the Joker, she's not interesting. You get what I'm saying? And same thing with Storm. Storm is interesting with the X-Men, but she's not interesting when she's on her own. And I know right now they're trying to do a major push with her. They don't want her to be in the X-Men team right now, but she does guest appear in the X-Men comic books. But she also has a solo run, and she's also part of the Avengers team because she had to take over for Thor because reasons, and because they need a powerful black woman on the team. It's dumb. It's dumb, and if it comes off hollow, and that's why I don't want this heavy focus because we're hearing too many blurs making a stank about it, and what I'm worried about is because y'all make a stank about that, they're going to try to push that crap. They're going to try to push Storm on us to the point where she becomes annoying. You get what I'm saying? And not in a good way. So no, I don't want her. I don't want her to be pushed. I don't want her to be solo nothing. I don't want her to be the center of attention in the movies or anything, because I know as soon as they do that, they're going to ruin the character, which has been true for a lot of characters of late that they do put solo emphasis on. I don't want her to turn into Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel. I really don't. I want her to be Storm, and I want her to be the regal X-Men motherly figure character that we all love. And that's the truth. So that's my thoughts about why Storm doesn't need to be the solo person, why she doesn't need to be the center of attention or the center focus of X-Men movies or shows, because they will destroy her. And that's what I don't want. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.